Welcome to the Daily Easy English Talk. Today, we're diving into one of the most haunting mysteries of the 20th century, a story of 9 hikers who went into the Russian wilderness and never came back. This is the Dyatlov Pass Incident. Chapter 1. The Adventure Begins. It was January 1959. A group of 10 experienced hikers, mostly students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute in the Soviet Union, set out on a skiing expedition into the Ural Mountains. They were led by Igor Dyatlov, strong, well-prepared, and determined. Their goal was to reach Mount Otorten. It was a challenging route, but nothing the group hadn't trained for. They took photos, they kept diaries, everything seemed normal, happy even. Then something changed. Chapter 2. The Missing Group. On February 12th, the group was supposed to return and send a telegram, but there was nothing, no word, no message. At first, no one panicked. Delays were common, but days passed, and still no sign of the hikers. Family members demanded a search. Eventually, the Soviet government sent rescue teams, students, soldiers, even planes and helicopters. What they found was more terrifying than anyone imagined. Chapter 3. The tent. The group's tent was found on the slope of Kholat-Syakhl, a mountain whose name means dead mountain in the local Monsey language. The tent had been slashed open. From the inside, boots, clothes, supplies, all left behind. It was minus 30 degrees Celsius. Why would anyone run out half-dressed? Footprints in the snow showed that the hikers had walked, not run, down the hill. Some were barefoot, some wore only socks. The tracks ended near the forest, and that's where the first bodies were found. Chapter 4. A grim discovery. 2 men were found under a pine tree. They wore only underwear. It looked like they had tried to build a fire. 3 more bodies were found on the path back to the tent, including Igor Dyatlov himself. They had died of hypothermia, but the strangest part was yet to come. 2 months later, the final 4 bodies were discovered in a ravine, buried under the snow. Their injuries were horrifying. Chapter 5. The Injuries. 1 woman's eyes were missing. Another's tongue had been ripped out. 2 had broken ribs. 1 had a crushed skull. Yet there were no external wounds. It was as if something had crushed them with massive force from the inside. The medical examiners were baffled. No one could explain how this happened. Chapter 6. Theories and Questions. So, what happened to the Dyatlov group? Why would trained hikers flee their tent into a deadly blizzard without proper clothing? The Soviet government quickly closed the investigation, saying the hikers died from a compelling natural force. But what does that even mean? People wanted answers. Chapter 7. Avalanche. 1 common theory is an avalanche. Maybe they heard snow shifting and panicked. They ran, got lost, and froze, but experts say the slope was too shallow and the tent wasn't buried. So, no avalanche. Chapter 8. Military experiment? Others think the hikers stumbled into a secret military test. Some reported strange orange lights in the sky that night. Could it have been parachute mines or radiation? 2 bodies had traces of radioactivity, but no official explanation was ever given. Chapter 9. Infrasound. In 2013, a scientist proposed an eerie theory. Wind passing over the mountain might have created a sound wave, an infrasound, below human hearing. Such sounds can cause panic, nausea, and hallucinations. Could that explain why the hikers fled their tent? Maybe, but it still doesn't explain the injuries. Chapter 10. A Paranormal Mystery. Some people believe in stranger explanations: aliens, yetis, interdimensional portals. Yes, even the idea that the hikers entered another dimension and came back broken. There is no evidence for these ideas, but for many, they're more comforting than the unknown. Chapter 11. The Last Words. One of the hikers wrote in her diary, "We now know snowmen exist. Was it a joke or a warning? We may never know." Chapter 12. Modern Investigations. In 2020, the Russian government reopened the case. Their new conclusion? It was an avalanche, again, but the families and the public weren't convinced. Too many questions remain unanswered. Conclusion. What do you think? 9 hikers went into the cold Russian wilderness and never returned. Their bodies were found, but the truth was not. Was it nature? A cover-up? Something paranormal? Or something we just don't understand? Thank you for listening to the Daily Easy English Talk. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, share it with a friend, and let us know. What do you think happened at Dyatlov Pass? Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.